However, in my opinion, you know what has changed? The situation. The situation on the ground. I live in a lot of big cities, LA, New York, Seattle. Let me tell you this. I myself am not very happy with the way the leadership in these cities, and it has been Democratic, is running these systems.
100%! Hey, what's up you guys? So I'm coming to you another video, and we're talking about the Fung Brothers. We're talking about the Fung Brothers talking about rising crime making Asians turn Republicans. Oh, you are talking my language, okay? Like, this is everything that I talk about. Like, this is it. Like, thank you for making my job easy in this content creation. Like, we're gonna get into this. I was so hyped. I could not wait to get home to do this video, and we're doing it. We're gonna talk about it. I had not even seen a word what they said. Honest to God, I didn't. And so this is gonna be a reaction video. I don't even know where they're gonna go with this, but I'm loving it. I'm living it. I'm gonna hype this up. So let's go, Brandon. So with that said, shall we begin? But first, of course, if you're new to my channel, what is up? My name is Mitch Maverick Mitch. Hey Mitch, the real Mitcher, and pretty much I like talking about what I like talking about. So current events, reviews, pop culture, social political commentary, be sure to check out all those videos. As you're finishing this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, and let's get into it.
The New York Times has come out with an article stating that the Asian American vote is up for grabs in 2022.
Well, what should Democrats do to keep the Asian vote, and what can Republicans do to take the Asian vote? Let's talk about it. Welcome everybody to the Hot Pot Boys, David and Andrew.
Alright, real quick, loving it, you know, shout out to the Fung Brothers, the Hot Pot Boys, you know, and everything. But real quick, we gotta say hashtag WalkAwaysian, hashtag Asian exit, hashtag Filipino exit, hashtag flexit. We're gonna get into this. So already I like this, you know. The premise is already, you know, like the Asian vote belongs to the Democrats and all that stuff. While true, I think just getting into it, right? We're barely getting like 17 seconds in, but you know, I think two factors were in that. Like, a lot of Asian Americans don't really vote, right? They kind of walk the line as far as like, who cares, you know, like as long as I'm doing my thing. I think a lot of that is changing, and I think they're gonna go into that, right? And so the second part is, you know, again, a lot like Asian values, a lot of conservative values, a lot of traditional values there, right? And I think ever since the 2016-2020 elections, you know, I think we're starting to see more Asian Americans come out to vote. And so it's going to be louder. So I'm definitely loving this already. So we're going to see what they got to say.
Here we got a hot one for you today. And let me first off tell you that we are not taking a side, left or right, blue or red. We are just here to break down the game for you. What's going on?
The different articles.
Real quick, sorry, like, I just gotta say it. I think, well, one, that's a little safe. They are not a political channel, right? And so they want to just lay out both sides. So as far as that goes, like, sure. But I have seen the other stuff, and I have done other videos on the Fung Brothers. We're talking about a lot of other stuff, you know. So talking about like traditional Chinese values, right? And so that's leaning conservative. But they also talk about social stuff when it comes to like Andrew Yang and everything. So really, they are kind of like a little baseline here for me as far as thinking what do like normie Asian Americans feel about everything, you know, because again, it kind of plays both sides, and I think there is a shift, and it could be either game here, you know. But like how Brandon is doing, I think a lot of people are gonna vote conservative this 2024 election.
Have all been dropping in the past week, saying that the Asian American vote potentially could swing from Democrat to Republican.
See, real quick, let's look at that. Like, let's look at that chart. Like, assuming that all of this is true, and I'll take it as what it is. So before 96, Republicans, Asians were voting Republican. Like, it's base, right? And then we started to see the changes and everything, and we're seeing the marketing as far as the Asian, like the whole like POC, like all the minority vote and all that stuff. It's for the Democrats and everything. But like, we're gonna see, and I think they're gonna get into it, a lot of things that, you know, the Democrats don't care about Asian Americans. Like, let's just be real. And then we're just gonna continue. We'll see what they say.
Swing from Democrat to Republican in 2022 based off two major factors. I think there's more, but the articles constantly focus on one, crime, safety, and stability, and number two, arguments over meritocracy and affirmative
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Quick history. 35 years ago, Asians were voting 60-40 in favor of the Republican Party. Then in the late 90s and early 2000s, it switched. It swung 70-30 in favor of Democrats. And now in 2022, it kind of seems like it could be split.
Obviously, there are a lot of cultural, generational, like literal just age differences. Like we said, guys, generational, cultural, situational. We'll just break it down.
Love those points. And then I think we're going to see, especially if the whole Ukraine going into the Pacific theater with Taiwan, we're going to see more Asians, like knowing what's going to go on. I think if that happens, full on red wave with the Asian Americans.
Down real quick. Generational. Most older Asians tend to more vote Republican. But I would say most Asian Americans that are like 50 or 40 and younger and educated, whether it's with an undergrad or postgraduate degree, vote Democrat. Cultural split means that different
I will agree I will agree, like, it's generational. A lot of older folks vote Republican, conservative. But I would also agree, like, it's a whole deal. Like, if you don't vote liberal when you're young, you don't have a heart. If you don't vote conservative when you're older, you don't have a brain type thing. Yeah, you can, obviously people are going to roll their eyes, people on the left are going to roll their eyes on that. But like, you're going to, like, as soon as you start making families, as soon as you're starting doing stuff and like realizing, okay, I need to teach my children these conservative values because that's how I was raised, you know? I think it changes, especially when you get older. Like, I was never political until 2018. So it goes 100% in my direction.
Asians from different motherland countries of origin typically have different coaching, whether that's anti-communist narratives and of course situational. The situation is, for example, in big cities, if you're an Asian that lives in a big city, you have to react to the stimulus around you. So are you reacting to the increased crime? Are you blaming the current leadership or are you blaming something else?
Yeah, also
And then, just real quick, go back to the cultural aspect. You know, you're gonna have a lot of people, especially Filipinos. I'm wearing my Catholic shirt. You know, like, you're gonna have a lot of Filipinos who are Catholic, who are very religious, who are very conservative. Like, and it's not only the older generation. If the younger generation picks up on that, then yeah. So. And then, like they said, like a lot of these countries, Vietnam and Korea, they're gonna probably vote a lot of, and China, like Chinese, right? They're gonna vote a lot of Republicans because they saw what communism has done to their countries.
part of situational is economics. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a business owner? Are you wealthy, or are you more middle class, lower middle class?
Asians, they tend to care about safety and stability. They tend to care about meritocracy, and they tend to care about economics.
Yes.
So initially, Asians were Republicans because of a lot of anti-communist narratives, both from like Viets, Koreans, Taiwanese, all anti-communist. Okay, then it started to shift. I think once it became like Republicans were kind of like the Tea Party, maybe like anti-progressive, anti-minority party. I'm not saying that it was, but that was essentially like the marketing.
That's the perception.
Yeah.
And now it just feels like Asians are...
Exactly. That was the perception, right? And so when you look into it, it's not like you got to look into a lot of the Republican side and a lot of the narratives that it's going towards like, oh, these people are racist. Like, no, like you could at least give credit where credit's due. Like, Democrats have done a good job as far as their marketing because they focus on storytelling. People have done other videos on this and everything. So people were bought into this. And so, and not to play real quick, not to play too bad on the Democrats, right? Because when it comes to, like, I did videos about this, should Filipinos walk away from the Democratic Party? Like, again, a good aspect with the liberals was, like, pushing ethnic studies, Asian American studies, again, which I'm a product of, right? And, you know, you got all the, especially when it came to the Filipinos, like, in California, you know, like, every university has almost a Filipino club, and we all did our own versions of Filipino culture night. So these are products of these Asian Americans in the 80s pushing into the, like, further on, right? And so those were good things. I would honestly argue those were good things, right? And now we're in a situation where universities like Harvard are saying there's white adjacents, which is referring to Asians, right? And so, no, we're not having this. We're like, affirmative action hurts Asian Americans. And so we're gonna see that. They already mentioned that. So we're probably getting into that a little bit more.
losing faith in the Democratic Party. They're saying, hey, guys, we were Democrats for so long, now the world's kind of going to crap, and we feel like the Dems aren't going to fix this, and maybe the Republicans will.
Right. It seemed like on the left that...
Exactly. Let's go with California real quick. You know, a lot of people are saying, like, they don't like Gavin Newsom and everything. And so there was a recall, and y'all still didn't recall freaking Gavin Newsom, right? And you can say that was partly because Larry Elder didn't have a good campaign and everything. And then, sure, I will agree to that. But at the same time, like, y'all, you didn't recall Gavin, right? And and gas prices are like the highest in the country in California. And what are you trying to, like, you see the problems but you don't fix it? Why are you voting for the same people that don't fix your problems?
Democrats were like, thank you for your service for 20 to 30 years of loyally voting for us. Here's what we're gonna give you guys. Unsafe big urban cities, and we're gonna make sure that your kids, even if they test really high on test results, they can't get into colleges or selective high schools.
Base!
Because you guys are just way overrepresented.
Base!
Sounds like a great deal. I'll take it.
Aren't you guys? I think we've summed up...
Why are you voting for this?
As best as we can, succinctly for you guys. Here's my hot take. It's true that the generational differences are always going to be there. The cultural differences are going to be there. Nobody can change those things. However, in my opinion, you know what has changed? The situation. The situation on the ground. I live in a lot of big cities, LA, New York, Seattle. Let me tell you this. I myself am not very happy with the way the leadership in these cities, and it has been Democratic, is running these systems.
100%!
It's supposed to be the coach, the puppet master, the system runner, the game maker, the architect. Whatever they're doing, I don't like it. It looks like there's just crime on the streets. People are using drugs in public spaces. Nobody's doing anything. And I get...
Oh my gosh, red pill! Like... Yo!
There are arguments on both sides that I can weigh out logically.
Now, does that automatically mean that if you vote Republican that everything's going to get solved? I don't know. But the feeling is so strong right now that people are willing to do that.
Exactly.
It's like
what do you got to lose? That's what Donald Trump said too, right? He's like, you've been voting this way forever and nothing has changed. So why don't you take a chance on me? A lot of people did. And look what... I love this. Like, they are getting red pilled every second.
Cheese as your options. Hey, welcome to the cheese store. You can either have cheddar cheese or American cheese. And you're like, yo, I wanted Swiss cheese. I wanted Gruyere. I wanted Brie. And people are like, nope. That's the American system. You only got American cheese and cheddar cheese. Those are your two options.
Well, a lot of people want other people to solve their own problems. And also, to be honest, a lot of people pick sides just because they want to be part of something. You want to be part of America. So these are the two main groups in America. Pick a side. That's...
I mean, okay, pause real quick with there. Okay, so we have a two-party system, and then, like, other people have done this. So, like, UK has a multi-party system, but even in their multi-party, and correct me if I'm wrong, for those who are in watching this video, right? They have multi-party, but at the same time, when you break it down, people are just going to end up being in fractions, and fractions end up being on two sides. They, like, you have multiple stuff, and they just end up becoming, this is more libertarian or liberal, whatever, and Labour Party for them, I guess, and then the Tories for the Conservatives, right? And so it just, like, you can have a multi-party, but you end up fracturing with the same side. Like, so right now it's like the independent. So really, there's like three, right? Which is independence. Independent is a swing vote, right? And so right now, a lot of independents are leaning towards like the libertarian side and everything. So also libertarians, like New Hampshire is having a whole like libertarian movement and everything. So the free state of New Hampshire or whatever. And so check that out if you want to look everything else. But yeah, I can agree to what they're saying here as far as like kind of tribalism. So
that's what you're told when you get here. Guys, my hot take is this, that the Asian vote is going to be increasingly more and more important. Almost 60% of eligible adult Asian voters in America are coming out to vote. That number is only increasing. It is so important, and here's why it's important.
If you extrapolate that trend, it's headed in a direction.
And it's important because the Asians are the wild card. Guys, when in a world so polarized, when people are this and this, guess who has the power? The people that are undecided in the middle, that are like shifting back and forth. In the future, people are going to be catering towards Asians. But just know when it's fake catering and when they're really, really trying to help you. There's a lot of fake catering out there for optics, but there are some things that actually help Asians. And I know it's hard to
100%.
decipher sometimes. Your parents are getting WeChat news. Maybe you're only getting news from one side or one source. Whatever it is, I'm just saying that's the situation moving forward. You're not a fan of both sides, but how does either the Dems or the Republicans try to win the Asian vote moving forward?
If the Republicans wanted to take the Asian American vote, they probably gotta seem like they are less, essentially like maybe only pro-Anglo. I would say that is a narrative that they...
That is the narrative that you're focusing on. Like, I think, if anything, we got, like... Okay. That's the idea that they think that the Republican is, right? But, if anything, we have to be pro-America, right? Like, you can say, like, sure, we're Asian. We can be fully Asian. We can be fully American. It doesn't have to be indistinguishable. Exclusive, mutually exclusive, whatever. Anyway, so the point being is that, again, a lot of Asian Americans have the same values as far as, like, you know, we want to have traditional families and hard-working jobs, and, like, even the gas and fat, leave me the F alone.
We gotta address, because Tucker Carlson is not addressing that.
Drop it.
Yeah, he seems like he's like, if you look like me, then you're right, and that means you're white. Okay, I'm not saying that that's actually the truth, but that is the overwhelming perception.
Okay, I challenge these guys. Yo, Fung Bros, if I challenge you guys, if you're watching this video, which I really doubt, but go to a freaking MAGA rally. You don't have to go to Trump rally, but even though you should go to Trump rally, but even go to a MAGA rally. You know, there's plenty in California when, like, during 2020, right? Multicultural. Multi-damn freaking cultural. And you're gonna hear stories everywhere from every walks of life saying, like, I just want to be American. Not necessarily, not when I say American, it's not like flushing out their heritage. I just want to be proud to be American where we are, because the left, they're burning flags, they're looting stores, they're doing everything that hates America. You know, they talk about on The View, the guy, I forgot his name right now, like, we should get rid of the Constitution. You got people who, like, burning, like, the Constitution wasn't made for us. Like, all of that progressiveness is ruining America, and people want to have a strong America.
I would say on the left, sometimes I feel like the left says, well, Asians, you guys will be fine regardless of whatever the policies are, so no help for you guys.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of Asians are fed up with the left sides always playing like identity politics. And they're
exactly.
Like, and Asians are just like, please just get back to the numbers, get back to the business, guys.
Right. It's a little bit like...
Exactly, because what are we seeing when it comes to the Democrats, or at least on the left, talking about Asian Americans, saying, like, oh, you do too well, you're becoming the oppressor, so you're becoming the white adjacent, you know? And so, like, they're tribalizing, they're demonizing Asian Americans just because we believe in hard work. We believe in, like, doing well and providing for ourselves and our families, and they don't like that.
Like what Ronnie said, where it's like Asians literally just want things to function.
Yeah. Here's how you win the Asian vote moving forward for at least the next 10 to 15 years. In my opinion, whichever side is able to convince the Asians that they can keep things stable, I think that's the side that the Asians are going to lean on towards. And it just seems like Democrats let things get a little unstable, and now they're looking at the Republicans to make it stable.
And one thing I really
100%
don't like is Asian Americans that I feel like grew up or were co-opted by either side, trying to get everybody to, like, shift off their metrics.
Yeah.
You know, most Asians, obviously there's a lot of diversity, but they do care a lot about stability, because the reason why a lot of people left Asia is because at that time, you know, especially in that era, it was really unstable. You know what I mean? Like, all these other issues, I'm not saying they don't matter, you know, this identity, that identity, it doesn't, you know, it is valid. But literally, nothing will matter if you have an unstable society.
100%.
Just a little quick piece of advice. I understand that a lot of millennials, Gen Y, Gen Z people, they disagree with their parents' politics. I'm not making excuses for them, but your parents went through a lot. Have a little bit of empathy. If you want to stop talking about them, if you want to stop talking to them about politics, I completely understand. But yes, I know a lot of friends who lean one side and their parents lean completely the other side. So it's very interesting right now. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this whole thing. Maybe you are left, you're becoming right. Maybe you are right, you're becoming left. Maybe you're not political. I don't know, but let us know in the comments down below what you think about this whole ordeal and the Asian vote becoming increasingly more important to America. Again, we're not telling you which way to lean. We're just trying to break it down for you. So thank you so much for watching. That is the Hot Pot Boys. Hit that like button, click subscribe, and until next time, we out. Peace.
Alright, so getting into it, initial thoughts as far as what they said and everything. And so, really quick, I like this video. I really like this video a lot. And, you know, I like how they were kind of just laying everything out. You know, they're not telling you how to vote and everything, but they're just kind of like laying the current situation of everything, right? And so again, I really liked it. If I had to make a guess, I think they made this video because they kind of want people not only to persuade other people to look and be invested in everything what's going on. I think they themselves are in the middle, and I think they're kind of leaning a little bit on the right, because I think David was saying like he's the one that was traveling from like New York to LA, Seattle and everything, and so I think he's starting to see it, right? And I think he's willing to go vote Republicans just for that very reason. Like, yo, y'all, like he said, like, we just want stability, and the progressive left is not creating that stability, you know? So again, 100% agree on there, right? And again, for the most part, I agree with the assessment. The only thing that I disagree with is with their perception, and it's not really on their fault, but like the perception of Republicans, right? And it's because of the sources that they're looking into. So again, you got to look both sides. You got to start looking at independent sources on YouTube. Like, I'm gonna still throw in Temple, go with Breaking Points, go with a lot of these things. What is going on? And I think they made a lot of great points, right? What I really wanted to do is kind of go into the comments section here and see what people got to say, right? And so, really quick, I really like the video, so there you go. So, I'm going to put in, I'm doing a response video to this. I'll put in the beginning, love it. Love this. I'm doing a response video as I type. Let's go, Brandon. Cool. All right. So what do we have here? Okay, so here we have like a Pinoy Drama Academy. It's good to see. Hopefully people will do more research and dig into what politicians actually believe instead of relying on tweets or TikToks for their information. It's better to be fully informed. More information, not less, can always help. 100%, right? This is the most fair assessment I've seen in a while. Cool. I'm a pro to Asian. One side wants to take that away. Don't tell Asians they can't defend themselves. Self-defense has always been our thing. Hell yeah. Like, I think I also bring this up in another video. Like, martial arts. Like, obviously all cultures, many cultures have martial arts. But why don't... Martial arts is typically in self-defense. Why aren't more Asian Americans pro 2A? Like, our heritage is self-defense. Like, sure, you can talk about like more offense, whatever, like especially Filipinos maybe, but like with their Kali and Eskrima, but in the end, like, it's still like, it's self-defense, and I think 2A amplifies that, right? And so 100% there, right? Let's give that a like, man. We got a Dennis Lee, we got like Let's Go Brandon. What else? Democrat. We have something from Seesum Young. Democrats and communism are the same. I was growing up with the communism. Okay, so at least they recognize it's real. We have here from Manny C. Filipino family here. We are conservative. We are Republicans. Hell yes. Let's go, Brandon. Okay, here we go. We have a gang 2024. Okay, well, whatever. You know. We got like, bruh, vote libertarian, say no to the two major parties. Sure, but as of right now, I think a lot of libertarians are leaning on the right. So. Alright, real quick, final thoughts. That was really cool. The comments, of course, on both sides and everything, as usual, dumpster fire and everything, all good there. But again, I love this video. It was right up my alley, and I really wanted to talk about it, and I was really hyped. And I think they said a lot of things that I agree with. And so I'm looking forward to what else is gonna come out of the Fung Brothers, as well as other people talking about this. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. Comment below as it helps the algorithm, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you.